Welcome to Jack Dodsons Racing Insider News. We got Jack Dodson, me, Scott Allen.
The legend.
The legend.
Yeah, the comedian.
Comedian.
Who will be paid back.
Hey, at least there's
I'm putting it out now.
There's no stripper videos out there of me.
It's all right. We're going to get yours. You're going to get yours. Don't you worry about it.
So racing is getting ready to start. We had a little bit of racing this weekend.
It was the Unlimited was a crash fest. I mean, they were tearing up some stuff down there.
I was at the Arena Racing Crash Fest, so I didn't get to watch it.
Well, yeah, you got to make your whatever floats your boat there, But I watched it. It was unbelievable. And John West Townley won the ARCA race. Mm-hmm. I mean, of all the people in the world to win the ARCA race. Year before last. But I told my wife, we were sitting there watching, I said, he gonna wreck before it's over with. He's gonna wreck. He wrecks every week. And then he goes and wins the race.
Maybe he's finally learned to calm down and because he won a truck race or Xfinity race last year?
Truck race.
Truck race, yeah.
So we go back to our picks real quick.
Who won?
Some guy named Scott Allen won.
Starting out on top.
But Reese finished second, and he's not here, so you
he's a sore loser.
You lose your spot. And, of course, Clayton finished third with Kenseth, and I finished last. And that's all I'm going to say about it. That's all I'm going to say.
So we got Chase Elliott starts out this year. His first full-time season in the 24, which is a big shoe to fill, and sitting on the pole for the 500.
Him and Kenseth are locked in on the pole. I think it's even more exciting about the guys in the back that are trying to get in the race. I mean, DiBenedetto and Blaney are locked in. They're going to be in the race.
Right.
But then you got the 6 other guys that are still fighting for a spot. And that's going to be interesting when they have, you can't have but 2 more cars, one way or the other. So 6 guys fighting for 2 spots.
Well, I mean, it wasn't no surprise to me that Blaney was fast and Blaney was going to be in.
Well, they knew. You knew Blaney was going to be in it. Mm-hmm. But I mean, he was that. But I don't think anybody expected DiBenedetto to be that fast. In a car that basically didn't. I mean, the '83 with Michael Waltrip is his car.
Right.
So I mean, it's another car they kind of put together, and hey, he did good. He did good.
But he seems to have overachieved all last year and he deserved to come back.
And I'm glad he came back. I mean, I'm glad they're going to give him a full-time ride again this year. And of course, Michael Waltrip's just going to run this race, or maybe probably the restrictor plate races. I don't know if that's. I don't know if he's going to run them all or not. But the K&N race, man, did you hear about the K&N race?
No, I
The
didn't.
K&N race, they ran 151 laps. They forgot to throw the checker flag on lap 150. They forgot to throw it. So
who led?
On lap 150, Todd Gilliland was leading. On lap 151, when the checker flag came out, Dylan Bassett was ahead.
Right.
So he pulls around, and they come back and tell him, "No, you didn't win. You got to go because we didn't throw the flag at the right time."
How could that happen?
I don't know.
Either that or the racing was so good there that you lose. Because that happened at Langley Speedway back in I want to say it was 95 when Phil Warren won all those races and was the national champion. Buddy Malice, I think, won the race, or he got the checker flag, but it was like 5 or 6 laps late, and they happened to throw the checker flag, and then they had to go back and look at the replay to find out who really won because nobody really knew.
Well, then after they took going to the 151, Gilliland and I forget who the guy was on the outside, and Bassett were 3 wide. And the guy on the outside, they plugged him in the wall big time.
Oh, really?
Tore his car all to pieces. And then he's thinking, hey, now they're telling me we wasn't even racing. That was,
right.
And I done lost the car. I mean, he lost the whole car.
But the kid Gilliland's son is really making a name for himself.
He's winning in everything, and he's going to be out on the K&N West Series this year. So,
and they have a K&N East team, and somebody else is going to be driving for it, or is it an ARCA team?
I'm not sure how they're going to break it up. It's still Bill McAnally's car, but I hear he's going to run the West Coast.
But I thought they had their own team, so I thought they signed somebody else to run.
Maybe, well, no, because you got Julia is running one of McAnally's cars out there.
I don't remember where I seen it now. It just come to mind.
And Steve Wallace won the super late model race at Volusia the other night. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, he won it. So,
well,
you ain't never paying no attention to him doing that?
Yeah. I knew what you meant.
When I see him,
hey, that's your dad.
It may be his last trip down here.
Maybe he'll be in the video with you next.
And
that's look like his what he was auditioning for.
I'm not even going to go into this video thing, but I'll tell you right now, Joe Staples and Scott Allen and Reese Nobles, y'all going to pay for all this.
I'm glad somebody else is getting guilty by association.
Every one of you going to pay for it. I'm going to get you back. But yeah, it was the unlimited race was a crash fest. They had all kinds of problems, and your buddy. I just saw where your buddy got announced. I told you it was going to happen.
What?
He got announced as the director of the Southern Modified Tour.
Yeah, I seen that. Actually, I asked Joe, and then I talked to an official there, and he's like, I haven't heard that. So he made some phone calls and come back. He's like, I can't confirm that. I was like, well, that's what it looks like.
Well, I told you a long time ago that was going to happen. I had heard that he was the odds-on choice.
So I heard he wasn't, but that's good to see somebody from Langley Speedway move up. I guess he's going to have to move down to Charlotte. Speaking of Langley Speedway, we got it's like I know. Look, Connor Medeiros gave me a hard time. He's like, you can't even remember my name on the show. He's we all changing tires, doing a pit stop in the background. I said, man, we were still working. We were busy. Macy Causey got what did she get awarded down in Daytona? Diversity.
Yeah, the young diversity
something. Or gets it this Friday.
Gets it Friday afternoon.
So I guess they're in Daytona or will be in Daytona.
We should be in Daytona.
We should be. We should be.
Well, I should be in Daytona. I'm not going with you.
Why are you like that?
Our trips may be few and far between here.
No, I was trying to find it, but I don't see it.
I had it on mine somewhere. She got some kind. It's with the diversity program.
Let's see. Macy does a picture with her grandmother at an interview for Wavy TV 10.
NASCAR Young Racer Award at the diversity program. In other words, she didn't win the diversity program thing, but they recognized her as the young participant that did well, and I think she's going to get it for long. She'll probably be the odds-on choice next year, or one of them anyway.
Well, arena racing was fun this weekend. It was full of drama.
Full of drama,
which is normally it is, but it's fun. It's fun when it's drama and you're not involved.
It's unusual for you, isn't it? I mean,
well, yeah,
but you seem to be right there when it happens.
Well, it's funny because Potter, Mark, he was asking me, and he's like, now you and Jack do a show. I said, look, I don't want to be associated with that guy. Oh, no, over the air. So he's like, so where can people see your show? He's like, what do y'all do there? I said, we stir stuff up. He said, you do? I said, yeah, ask Cody a testament. He's like, no, they already stirred up. I said, yeah, no, but all that happened after they were on our show. And we really didn't have anything to do with it, but it certainly stirred it up.
I mean, it got mentioned up there when it happened that what was said on the show that
Most definitely.
We were the ringleaders to stir that up, and of course we got him,
big man.
Yeah, Wickheiser here tonight.
My first car owner. Can you believe that?
Oh, by the way, but you got an appearance to do this weekend.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you what, I'm just going to go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and put it up there because I know it's going to come out regardless.
So if you want those autographed, just email the show, call us. You can ask Jack; he can get a hold of me.
Yeah,
he's going to be my PR guy.
But see, the real picture's on the back.
That's right.
Because that's all I ever saw when I went to the arena races, him eating and drinking.
Well, when you got a good food sponsor, that's what you do.
But so where we at this weekend with the?
We'll be at the Virginia Beach Convention Center, the Home and I don't know if it's a Home and Garden. The other week it was the Home and Outdoor Show.
So I noticed you signed a bunch of cards.
Are
you anticipating a big crowd coming to see?
That's for all the Miles.
I mean, employees. I think you got 3 last time, and four people come to see you last time.
Hey, considering you had on Saturday you had the Polar Plunge, and then Sunday you had the Super Bowl, it was a little slow.
Yeah. Well, probably
this week is going to be busy.
Well, no, you got the Daytona 500 this week, so you.
Yeah,
you know, if I have to make a decision where I'm going to go Saturday and Sunday, it's watch the Xfinity race on Saturday and the Daytona 500 on Sunday, or go see Scott Allen at the home.
I mean, that's a no-brainer.
Yeah, that's right. I'm watching the Daytona 500. I ain't going down there.
Yeah, I'm not. You and Pops were going to come down there.
Look, I tried to get my wife to go the last time we were down there. I said, we got to pop in there. We were out somewhere. I said, we got to pop in there.
You come, I might even get you in for free.
What is there to do? I mean, I don't even know what you do there. I've never been to one.
There's a bunch of stuff. I mean, there's different gutter companies. Anything to do with like the outside of a house, even a bunch of stuff that ain't got nothing to do with a house is there. Trying to sell product or promote products.
Oh, you make mulch?
That's where we stir stuff up at.
Yeah, I see. No, I haven't.
But the arena racing, I mean, it was drama filled. We had Cody Carlton got DQ'd in qualifying, car too low. So then he didn't make the second practice for the third practice for the third round of qualifying, and so therefore he had to start in the back of the B main, which I don't think he's been in since I've been racing. I ain't never seen him in a B main. Of course he won that, and then
he won the B main.
He won the B main, and then Connor Medeiros, I remembered his name this time. He won the A main race. It was fun. It was good to see him. No. What are you saying that for? No, that's right. He won last week. Who won the damn A main? That's right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Sweet Frog's car.
Well, it's not Sweet Frogs anymore.
It's Sweet Frog and a Mazda.
Yeah, I forget. Yeah, and it was fun. He won from the pole, and I tell you, the kid has been really impressive. I mean, to be completely honest, that kid, I don't know how old he is. He's got to be 14 or 15.
Yeah, only 12.
I don't know. He's young, but I tell you, since it was his third race in the Pro Series, and he won. He almost won a couple weeks ago, but he's done a hell of a job. I know his parents are really proud to see him, and he's raced everybody very clean, and everybody's raced him and not really give him a whole lot. I mean, they've didn't race him easy because he was a kid, and I think he's gained a lot of respect for everybody out there. But nobody caught him. I mean, Connor ran second, so nobody, I mean, he won it.
So where the Testament ended up?
I can't remember if he was third or fourth. He was fighting. Those two were fighting there for a little while. I don't know if he ended up third or fourth. He didn't really have the car that he's had weeks prior, and I think he was fifth or so in the top dog.
Okay.
Which Cody had to start in the rear of that. He started 12th, I think.
No, we ain't gonna talk about that right now.
Yeah. That's too many knobs for Jack to comprehend.
We're gonna hire somebody to come do that. We'll see how that works first.
But it was fun. It was fun. The racing was good. They did have more cars finished than they did the other week. They only had 4 finish the top dog.
And Robbie Allison flipped over for the first time. I heard all about all that.
Oh yeah, he fished. Well, there's a story. I don't know if I should tell you on camera about. I'm gonna tell you. So, oh man, before the races got started, I go over there. I'm messing with Robbie for a minute, and he's like, "You see that blonde over there?" You know, I really shouldn't say. I should stop. Well. No, I'm not gonna say. I'll have to tell you later. I can't say. I just can't say it.
He starts something and then he leaves it.
All right. Well, all right. So he's talking to Ricky Dennis's daughter. And I was like, "Dude, do you want to come back to arena racing?" He said, "I don't really care." So there was a woman come from Nashville to sing the national anthem. Well, apparently. Why she came to arena racing, I don't know, but I'm assuming because Robbie had a little fling with her and not returned her phone calls. So she drove all the way from Nashville to sing the national anthem at arena racing. So needless to say, it was a little touchy for Robbie around the racetrack.
Well,
And of course, I kept throwing jabs in there all I could.
I can imagine you went out there, just...
Well, even Joe come over. I told Joe what was going on. He said, "Oh, I'm gonna get him later. I'm gonna say, hey, there's this blonde looking for you. Keeps talking about you." So he went over after the race. He says, "Hey, man, this is blonde over here. He's talking trash to me." He's like, "Really?" He's like, "Nah, me and Scott are messing with you." Yeah, so I don't know if Robbie's gonna be back arena racing next year or not, to be honest. But he did tell me he's gonna run. He's already has on his schedule this year for the summer. He's going to run 65 races. He wants to push it to 90. I said, "Dude, how are you going to do this logistically?" He's going to run Southside several races.
He's going to run a different place every weekend.
90 races is what he's trying to do. I said, "How are you going to do this logistically?" He said, "I don't know. I'm just going to do it."
One weekend he's going to be out west running some races. One weekend he's going to be back here running races. Then he's going to go down south and run some races down in Florida and Alabama and somewhere around there. He's going to be all over the place, and I understand he's got a
supposed to do some ARCA testing.
He's got an ARCA test coming up too that he's probably going to run Mobile in the ARCA car. So he's got a lot of stuff going on, and how he's going to do it, I don't know.
Well, he's trying to shorten his learning curve because he started late in life.
Yeah, he had a hard time. If I was him, I'd have probably backed off of it a little bit myself and waited, because he's racing wasn't his thing for a while. That wasn't.
Well, his mom wouldn't let him.
Well, I ain't gonna go. That may be true too, but. Anyway, we're supposed to have Josh White call in here in a few minutes. Evidently, we're just not important enough for people to call anymore. I don't get this.
After last week and this week, it must be you.
Well, this one's Reese. This one's on Reese.
Oh.
This one's on Reese. I'm not, I ain't going to say nothing, but it's on Reese. Reese, it's on you. And we can't even have a show without your Superman socks.
People did talk about his socks this weekend. He's like, "What's up with the socks?"
Well, the first time I saw him, I thought he was a Wickheiser because he looked, he looked.
He had the beard and all.
Yeah, he looked, I just think, dang, he kind of looks like he. But,
well, we got some time. Eric, you want to come over and talk a little bit? Come on, man.
Why, man?
Don't knock the camera over.
Why?
Because then I'd have to go straighten it back out. You could barely fit in here.
I know, barely.
And we got
I'll sit over here.
Eric Wickheiser over here. And you gave me my first ride.
Yes,
Now,
I
what
did.
the hell? What made you think to put me in a car?
well, if you know him pretty good, he ain't rapping too tough to start with.
He didn't know me that good, then.
No, I'm talking about him.
That's what I mean, though. He didn't know me that well.
Well, the story you told before we come on air about how
his
you ended
past-
up with
his past
it.
driver.
Yeah, his past driver.
Well,
Now-
honestly, how it started is he used to come and get his car inspected at my shop, and I kept saying, I want to try to drive one of those. Why don't you let me drive one? And then he showed up one day. He's like, all right, look, you need to get a suit, and we'll run outside at Langley Speedway, and if you do all right,
Then I'll take you inside.
we'll take you inside.
Because outside, I could run y'all. Jack, I could probably fit you in a car.
No, I don't want. I don't even want to get
They
in.
got
No.
plenty of cars parked all over the place. They don't need anymore.
Don't even go there.
So he said our first race up there, none of us knew what we were doing. They had JT helping us.
Yep.
And JT had been a big help. Eric said he didn't even watch the first practice. He said he was too nervous. I guess he was waiting for me to flip over. And I think I went the whole year without flipping over. I think I went the first year without flipping
The
over.
first year we went without flipping over. Yep.
Well, you sure went to hell in a hat basket after that, didn't it?
Not too much, Hey, we did sell a sponsor for the bottom of the car the second year, though.
And now, oh yeah, I heard about that. I heard about that too. But now you get him in the car, and you're the car owner.
I'm the car owner.
Now, when situations happen at the racetrack that he's involved in, how do you deal with him after that point? You just ignore him, or?
No, we always dealt with it as a team on how we did it. Then whether
He was usually the worst one.
I was.
I was the calm one, believe it or not.
They usually had to calm me down depending on what all was going on and where it was going. Because they really didn't want me on the radio too much. I wasn't allowed. I could listen to stuff, but I wasn't allowed to talk.
Take his mic off.
Yeah,
Now you're the car owner. You should be able to do what you want.
Yeah, but I had faith in JT to do the right thing and stuff like that.
Now, when he went backwards on the track and took Scott Perlman out,
I didn't have a problem with it actually.
I see why you hooked up with that team now. Everything's beginning to get an explanation.
My question was, I'm like, why didn't you keep going? The car wasn't broke.
Well, we thought it was broke.
He thought it was broke. I'm like, you were just running over the fenders. All they had to do was tape it back on, and he would have been fine.
Well, they weren't letting me go back out there.
But that's one thing I was yelling at because Scott Perlman got out of his car, but they wouldn't let Scott go back out.
Well,
It's all right.
You're talking
It's all
about
in the past.
yeah, you're talking about a champion and a
Yeah, that's true.
He wasn't that year.
Yeah, you took that away from him that year.
Just barely, but he kind of took it himself. But yeah, I mean, that's
I mean,
on the bridge at this point.
What was it? He told you used the front end of his car to.
No, I used his car to wreck myself.
Yeah, used his.
Used the front of his car to wreck myself.
Well, I only went to a few. I haven't been to a lot of arena races, but every time I went, it always seems to be something with Scott. It's one of those races. I mean, I seen him get out of the car and kick somebody's car, and he ended up taking the car.
That won't no joke. I will not do that again. I will promise you that.
So I mean, but I feel sorry for you. You had to deal with him, but
But he was involved in arena racing for a long time. How's it feel this year not being at arena racing?
It's kind of bittersweet. I'm enjoying taking the year off, but I do miss going to the racetrack and having fun and seeing all the people there. It's just.
How many years did you go prior to this year?
Good 10 years, because I went for 5-6 years when it first started. Then I moved to Oklahoma for 4 years, and I came back and I got right back into it because I bought the car that I was working on before I moved to Oklahoma. It was my first car I bought. Then we were going. Then my brother was driving for me and stuff like that. I had a girl drive for me also when I was running the outdoor series, doing all that. Then we had a problem during the summer and bent the chassis there. Then I ended up winning one as a raffle in the outdoor series. Then built that car back up. Then went from there. Then got Scott. Then
Well, and that's when it went all to pieces right there. But
no.
now what are you going to do this coming year? You got
This coming year, well, my daughter still races for me. We run her in the Wing Champ this year. We've been doing pretty good. We finished 5th in the points last year in the Wing Champs. Prior to that, I think we finished 12th the year before that. It's her second year in the Wing Champs. She's been running go-karts for a long time. And this year we got her going to run a Wing Champ all full season this year. Then we're going to put her in an Enduro for the full season, get her used to a big car.
well, I think that's a smart way to do it.
Then actually getting her to learn. She knows how to drive a stick, but she doesn't know how to fast shift or nothing like that. So I'm hoping the Enduro will do her a lot of good on learning how to drive and shift and stuff like that in a bigger car. Then we're also going to try and run a couple of Super Street races this year.
Okay.
So we're going to try and get her into a bigger car this year.
So your team is really doing a lot better since Scott left.
I tell you,
not really.
it's not nearly as fun. I can promise you that.
Yes, yeah, I can guarantee that. You know, but
Now you're going to be running the Champ Kart all year long.
yes, we're going to run a Champ car all year long and an Enduro car all year long.
Okay. Now, we also know there's somebody else going to be running a Champ Kart this year.
Yes, but we're supposed to be sponsored by the same people. So. Miles has backed my daughter for a good 3 years now in her Champ Kart endeavors and stuff like that. They've been really good to us and been good to us in the arena cars and stuff.
And they helped put a roof on my house this past week. I want to thank them. And they're going to put me some gutters and some rain guards, so I'll be taking some pictures and posting those when they get done. So thank Miles for that.
That ain't got a thing to do with racing.
That allows me to race.
So when we go to Champ Kart racing, because I'm gonna come out there when he races in Champ Karts. I got to be out there. I mean, you know, even though you got the same.
He's trying to get a picture in Victory Lanes.
No. I'm not even worried about that part. But
We've been close this year. We've been close to winning the races and stuff like that with my daughter. She's been doing really good, and we've been qualifying up front. We qualified on the pole, I think, 3 times this year. At least on the front row, I know that. I know we qualified on the pole once or twice last year, and she's been finishing in the top 5 almost every week last year, and she's just been getting better and better every race.
I got a message here. You can keep on talking. I got a message here from Ron Devine.
He can't do 2 things at one time.
No.
I really can't.
But I also got to thank Jim Bennett and Car Masters. They're the one that's providing her an Enduro car and a Super Street ride for this year. And
So are we going to be racing at Langley this year?
I hope so. The word's out there. They're saying April 9th is supposed to be the first race. Is what I've seen on. The HRKC has come out and posted that's what it is.
So, but that be the Champ Karts run the first night?
I honestly don't know.
Yeah, it keeps going in and out.
I'm not sure. They haven't posted a schedule or anything like that. They just said April 9th, the tentative date or whatever. Then it'll do what it needs to do. Then I don't know what Christine Leach has said or anything. She's really said you'll know. She hasn't really been notifying anybody and letting know what's going on. We've just been getting Facebook posts. We ask questions and get treated like children. You know.
Well, tell us how you really feel.
Hey.
You see why we don't let him have a mic?
Yeah, I can understand. I can understand it.
You know.
But what kind of? I mean, what would that do to you? I would ask this question of a late model driver or whatever, but I guess it does affect you just as much. If you don't run Langley Speedway this year, what happens?
If we don't run the Langley Speedway this year with the Champ Karts, there's another division that started up this year with the Wing Champs that runs at Teddy Burris. They modeled it right after the Pro Wings at Hampton, and they're running at Florence Speedway in South Carolina, and it's supposed to be Ace Speedway, but that's not confirmed yet in Carteret, the new racetrack down there. and we'll probably make a couple of those races if Langley doesn't open. But we will race, but it just depends on where.
I think Langley Speedway is going to open.
Well, I think it's going to open too, but I'm just saying, there's a lot of people that are up in the air saying, look,
Yeah, because we could take the wing off and go run asphalt at King George or somewhere like that, or dirt tires, go to Dixieland or whatever. But it's because a Pro Wing Champ is just a regular champ kart that's without a wing on it. But my daughter doesn't really want to run dirt too much. I really don't want to because it's a lot of work.
Danny Miley keeps saying the tires are not that bad.
It's a whole lot of cleaning.
Yeah, but it's
running dirt's
fun.
a whole lot of cleaning.
I had fun.
We ran it twice last year, and we had fun. The people there are great. We have fun out there. It's just a whole lot of cleaning every week.
Yeah, you gotta get rid of that dirt every week.
Yep.
No, on the carts, every time you come off the racetrack, you got to wash your tires.
You have to wash the tires and re-prep them and everything.
Re-soak them.
So
and about time you get like, it's time to go back out, and you're like, God, dang on.
Yes.
Get in the cart, make some laps, get back off, wash the tire. It's work. I mean, it's work. You almost need a crew member.
If you ever want,
you want to come help me?
It's good exercise. I can hook you up with Paul Maxton. He's always looking for a tire washer.
Yeah, I bet.
I'm not really into tire washing. I don't think I'd be. Now we're going to 7:30. We're still waiting on Max Pappas now, and this is 2 weeks for him.
And he called you personally
and apologized for not calling last week. Man, I tell you what, me and Reese are gonna have to sit down and get these things together here. But anyway, let's keep on talking with him because
Well, I'll say Langley Speedway. If something happens that doesn't open, I know it would definitely. You say it'll hurt my sponsorship, but it definitely would affect us because they have. I mean, the guys, the employees out there, told me the other week that they missed coming to arena racing and watching us race, and I know it would be easier for them to come to Langley Speedway, but certainly it'll be nice to be at Langley Speedway and have them all come and but if it doesn't, I mean, it would certainly disappoint those guys. I mean, there's nothing we can do about it, but it would certainly disappoint those because it is a big a big platform for us to race on.
Yes.
I mean, where else are you going to race race carts in front of 1,500 to 25? And heck, I mean, when the Hampton Heat's there, I mean, we're racing in front of 6,000 or 7,000, maybe not 6 or 7, 5 or 6,000 people.
Yeah, and then last year we ran the South Boston big race too on their big race.
The Triple Crown. We started every Triple Crown except Martinsville, and Bill tried like hell, to try to get us to be the first race in front of at Martinsville for the late model. Is it still the Taco Bell 300? I don't think it is.
I don't think it is either.
But tried to get us, and that would have been way cool. And everybody asked me, "Ben, you ain't running, are you going to run?" I'm like, if we're running Martinsville, I'm coming. I'm going to tell you that right now. I'm coming.
And it didn't work out?
No, he said he was still trying. If we wanted to do it, he would try to figure out somehow to get us there. And Bill's he loves the champ karts. I mean, it's probably his favorite. I would say it's got to be his favorite class at Langley Speedway, to be honest with you. But we'll have anywhere.
Been one of the biggest classes for.
It's the biggest class on the East Coast.
Yeah, he's got a lot of personal involvement in that as far as.
He does. He's got 3 karts in the series. Yeah. But we'll have anywhere from probably the shortest field I think we've had is maybe 18 karts.
Yeah, 16, 18
and the biggest has probably been 34. I thought we did, and they were talking about cutting us off. But I mean, we could put more karts than that on it. I mean, hell, they started. I don't know how many late models for the Hampton Heat, and he said they weren't going to send anybody home, which I admire him for.
Well, you got how many real good competitive karts are there out there?
I know there's one.
I'm talking to Eric.
Well, in champ car race, it's got to be a team sport. You got to have a partner. If you don't have a partner, you're not going to go.
Yeah,
anywhere.
we were talking about that earlier. Remember the partner?
You got to have a dancing partner. If you don't have a dancing partner, you're not going anywhere.
So the 2 miles cars ought to be a dancing partner.
They should. You would hope
They should.
So I mean, if one leaves one out, we'll have a little conspiracy going here that we can get started on.
Right.
Well,
Call from 30579.
good afternoon. Welcome to Jack Dodsons Racing Insider. Is this Max?
Max Babbitt's the phone. How you guys doing?
How are you doing, sir? We're very honored to have you with us tonight. How's everything down in Florida?
Good. I'm actually in Charlotte, North Carolina right now.
Are you back? Are you back in Charlotte? I thought you were still down there for all the stuff going on in Volusia stuff. You still there? Hello? Well, that worked good. Hello?
Max? I think somebody's hitting the mute button.
Max,
I think he...
you there?
He's calling back.
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know what happened there.
I don't know. Not for sure. The lines are up a little good.
Okay, well,
I'm here. I'm going to be actually heading down to Daytona again tomorrow. I was there until Sunday for William Byron, for the ARCA race.
Right.
And I'm going to be back for the truck race and back home in North Carolina by Friday night.
whoa, okay. So you got a quick trip down that way and back, huh?
That's okay. That's good. That's what we do.
Do you,
I guess I jump on the plane like jumping on a taxi.
now, are you still doing your driving coaching with everybody, over at RCR, or are you not doing that anymore?
That's the reason why I'm going down to Daytona. I work, I'm the performance advisor for William Byron. He's doing drive for KBM in the truck series.
Right.
He's a K&N champion, so that's why I was in Smyrna. And I've done that before for Austin and Ty Dillon. And I've done it for a lot of other people, maybe not just full-time, part-time, but it's always been something that I enjoy doing it and passing on my knowledge to other people, and it's a really cool thing to do.
Now, Max, do you still have the desire to drive, or is that something that you've kind of given up at this point?
Yeah, of course. I'm a race car driver. I'm a race car driver, and I will always race. The only thing is that there are less opportunities to be able to do what I like to do, and so I need to pick and choose. There are less opportunities, so you cannot. Racing is not a full-time job in terms of driving anymore, and so we are. I do other things. I do other things to bring food back to the family and just to grow my business in MPI. So that's why you see me doing lots of other things, and particularly I love it too.
Now, how did you get into the driver coaching?
It's not really coaching, it's like, it's a lot of times, like I started with RCR when, I started actually with, in the beginning, when I worked for Henry Motorsport, I was testing for them, and I was, going and doing lots of different things on road courses, and I passed it on to, when I went over to RCR, it started, for fun, where I was basically, I went there to be a road course driver for Mr. Richard Childress, and after I went to the track a couple of times with a kid, with both Austin and Ty, we realized that I could have, been of a lot more help, than just being a race car driver. And he started that like an advisory role, and then both Austin and Ty, they really, found the help of me being around, and I think that, came, by itself. It's not something that I've been, planning to do, to be a performance advisor or stuff like that. It's just something that people see the benefit of me doing it, and I enjoy doing it. I see I'm making a difference. So it's all good. It's something pretty natural to me.
You know, I've heard Austin and Ty on several occasions say you've helped them a tremendous amount. So that has to be a pat on your back to be able to say that you helped those two guys come along, and they've definitely got a lot of talent.
Like every time what I say is that people you can help people along the way, to improve their skills. Nobody can teach you speed, that's for sure. If you ask me, what am I doing? I'm definitely not there. I'm not teaching you how, to go fast to these kids. Neither Austin or Ty did any of that. And far from me from doing that. But what you do is you get someone who is already excellent, who has a lot of speed, and you teach him all the things that it takes to be a leader, to be the guy that is going to be, the best guy in the team, and you work with him. You bring him from being an 18-year-old kid with limited amount of experience to think like a 45-year-old guy, and that's where I really feel I do a great job. Where I can really help these kids a lot. That's my way of communicating, of making them grow. And I really think that, we see the benefit, and I'm proud of doing that as well.
Well, Max, what brought you to NASCAR? Obviously, you did very well in the open wheel series. What brought you to NASCAR?
I was driving a sports car. I started my career in open wheel, obviously. I was very fortunate to be part of Champ Car. That was the time when IndyCar was at its best, together with you had the best IndyCar, you had the best open wheel guys in IndyCar,
Right.
and the best soccer guys in NASCAR. I was able to be part of that with the Miller Lite car. I drove it for Bobby Rahal. I had a lot of satisfaction. And when the split between IndyCar and IRL, existing champion and IRL happened, I had to figure out a way how to make racing my living because there was you couldn't get a salary anymore. So what I did, I went to sports car racing. I drove for Corvette racing for many years, and because of that connection, I was able to get to know better the people handling motorsport. And as soon as I seen how special NASCAR was, I tried, because I felt that he was the top of motorsport in America. And I'm proud that I've been able to, race 85 times, and I'm the European driver with most NASCAR stars in the history. And, I achieved my own goals. I'm really proud of what I've done. If I knew that NASCAR was so cool, I would have tried it before, I promise you.
So how did you get into developing steering wheels and getting involved in that? How did that come about?
On the steering wheel side, it's always been, something that I had to do. I'm a 6'2" guy. When I drove the open wheel, those cars are really small. So I had to actually work with the steering wheel manufacturer to build my own steering wheel. So, in order to fit those cars. And I learned, the good and the bad things of that. I learned, how, the process, the manufacturing. I got to know everyone in the industry. So it's been basically 25 years since I've been involved in that. And was a natural extension of what I was already doing. From my needs into a business. And I'm really proud of what we've been doing. With NPI, we've been supplying all the top Cup teams in the last 4 years. And we won the last 2 Cup championships in a row. One with Kevin Harvick, one with Kyle Busch. And last weekend at the Sprint Unlimited, we had every single car on the grid. So we're growing our business. We're super proud of that. We do very gently, and everything is based on safety. We built a steering wheel that is safer and lighter than anything in the market, and we got recognition back because all the garages are using it, and it's pretty awesome.
Well, Max, we appreciate your time tonight. We're going to have to get off here in a little bit, but we appreciate your time. Appreciate you giving us a call. And hopefully we'll get you back on here again and get into the steering wheel a little bit better.
Absolutely. Actually, there are also cool things that we can talk about. And let me tell you, I'm extremely honored, to you even being able to be in the show at the art because, I would have never thought that when I came here I would have had the opportunity to even, achieve half of the goals I did. So, from a kid coming 1,000 people village is a big honor, and would love to be part of future shows and talk about, a lot more things interesting to be right at Daytona.
All right. Well, we appreciate it, and we'll get you on here again real soon. How about that?
Let's go for it. Thanks
All right.
a lot, and thanks for the race fans that are listening, and let's make noise, and let's support motor racing in general.
All right. We'll do that. Thank you, sir. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Max.
Thanks a lot.
I hate to do that. I mean,
What are you gonna do?
we're sitting here steadily getting.
Well, it started a few minutes late, but
Let's see.
Max is he's got an interesting story, and I didn't realize the steering wheel came from a necessity from him being a bigger guy to have his own steering wheel made, and I didn't realize everybody was running them. Or I didn't really that many people were running them. I don't know what his steering wheels cost.
Ron.
Hey, buddy, I was calling you from a landline. I didn't know, but I kept getting voicemail.
Well, it could have been us on this end. It's never telling, right? It's always something with us anymore here lately. But anyway,
Max Pappas was talking a little long.
So how's everything with you? We're glad to hear that you got 3 cars in the Daytona 500. We're excited about that.
Yeah, we got 3 in now, 1 to go. And hopefully the 26 will make it in on Thursday. But yeah, Matt ran a great lap. We were very excited about that. He was, they were fast from the time they got there. And they just really proud of what the team's done all winter. We tried to help our program, but, it worked out just fine for us.
It seems like Matt, I call him Guido because I've known him for a long time. But it seems like he's
Overachieves, I think.
He's developing really good.
Yeah.
He seems to be getting better all the time.
Oh, he absolutely is. The way I describe him, I say he hasn't plateaued yet, so we don't know where that's going to be. He continues to improve and grow, and he's getting more comfortable. Now, this is his first 500. Of course, he drove Daytona in the July race, but he really wasn't eligible last year because he hadn't had enough super speedway experience. So this was his first, and you can see it in his interviews, media day and stuff. He's all smiles and very happy. It's really lifted the team. We're very, very, very excited, and I'm very happy for Matt. He's just a wonderful young man, and like I said, I think he hasn't plateaued. He's just going to be terrific.
Well, Ron, you've made a lot of changes this year compared to the other years. You've got a lot of stuff going on, and tell us what all you got going on as far as the new stuff that you're doing this year as compared to last year.
How long is the show? we weren't happy at all with our performance last year, and so our car build, we were kind of unhappy with the changes that we had made. Waltrip was moving to align with Chevy, and so that freed up a lot of pretty heavily developed Waltrip cars. So we went in there and for the most part bought the fleet. There were a few that went other places, but we bought all the ones we could. And then we also bought his chassis shop, the ability to duplicate what he has there, and it really helped get us, closer aligned with Toyota and closer to the current build, away from what we had. So that was probably the biggest change, but we've done a major renovation to the company, and we're going to continue to. It's more of an evolution. I don't think it's an event. I think it's more of just a series of things that you have to do. But that's probably the biggest change in our car build. And then I think, we've got to work on our motor program and get closer with Toyota. Our Toyota support this year, and I say it every time I get a chance. We cherish our relationship. Those guys are wonderful partners. It's one of those things where the more success you have, the more resource that comes available, and these guys are really a great partner. I think our relationship with them is growing. So those are the 2 major changes. Of course, we added David Reagan to the stable of drivers, and I I think David brings a whole level with him of just professionalism and experience, and he's been to victory lane, and he's just really a solid citizen there. And you know, it's funny, it wasn't like it happened late or quick. And I tell everybody, David Reagan was the first driver I ever had lunch with 5 years ago. I mean, we sat down with him and said, hey, this is what we're doing. And he was always busy doing other things, and for one reason or another was, you know, going out and about. And so it worked out this time that our paths crossed, and we were able to put that deal together. So I think with David at the helm and Matt growing again for his second year, the Waltrip cars and our Toyota relationship, I think we're on our way.
Now, I'm gonna ask this question. I don't know how much you can get into it, but with this new charter system that you guys are involved in, all the owners, how does that benefit you? I mean, you're one of the teams that that has 2 charters, and how does that benefit you as far as your overall picture and developing down the road?
Well, first, before I answer your question, let me just tell you that, you know, the charter system has been something that's been kicked around for a long time. It's something that I believed was a next step in the NASCAR development, and I believed that 5 years ago. Now, you know, it took a long time for people to get together and be able to come up with a program that made some sense. I think, you know, the thing's only 7 days old, so it's a brand new experience, and so I think the overall benefits are, you know, yet to be experienced. But in general, and by the way, you know, we ran 3 full-time teams for the last couple of years.
Right.
Unfortunately, you know, the 26 that we purchased from Swan, you know, fell a little short of the charter, so we were able to collect it. So we ended up with 2 instead of 3 full-time cars. But yet you still have the ability to run in the open. That's why you see us running cars 3 and 4 down in Daytona. Okay, so there's just kind of the foundation of it. Now, specific to your question, though, the benefit to it is it brings enterprise value to all of the teams. It brings a more stable structure to the investment of being a part of a NASCAR race team. And I think that's just opens up so many doors. I mean, like I said, it's 7 days old, but, you know, those things are going to trade like, you know, other franchises trade. They're going to get valued like other franchises and other, you know, systems get valued. And I think you're going to see a more comprehensive look at what teams are and what they're all about with the value of a business. Call it a charter, call it a franchise, call it anything you want, but some sort of a structured system to it that you've never seen before in the history of NASCAR. And quite frankly, I give Brian France a lot of credit for being the France family member that was able to evolve this to the next level. I think the RTA formation, putting the owners together and everyone collectively putting our heads together and coming up with a solution is a give and take, if you would, solution. And I think it's really got a great foundation to build for the future of this sport long term with competition at its highest level. We always have to focus on that, and this will give you that stable environment to be able to, you know, to finance and fund and invest in. So it's really good. Really good.
Now, when Michael Waltrip shut his operation down, or Rob Kaufman, or whoever it was, they shut that operation down. With that, the influx of those people coming into the market for jobs, that had to help benefit a lot of what you had going on over there too, because you probably got a lot of good help from that too, didn't you?
We did. We picked up some of the guys that were in there that were in the key positions, that, you know, in the chassis shop and the body shop and the assembly shop and things like that. So we're very excited and welcome them into our organization. It's great to have them come along. And you're right. I mean, there was a lot of people over at Waltrip, and they got displaced. My worry, Jack, is honestly you know, I don't want to see the sport lose any talent. I don't want to see people get away from the sport. And I think that's another benefit to this charter system being put in place, is it'll be a much more stable environment for the teams to grow on, and then the employees and their families can count on it as a, you know, as a system that's going to be there year in and year out. So, you know, it's another one of those benefits to it. But you know, I don't want to see any more talent. We have some of the most talented people in many areas inside of NASCAR. hopefully this new system will help attract people and also maintain the talent base that we have.
Now, Ryan, what made you look at NASCAR and want to get involved?
I'm sorry, you broke up a little. What made me get involved in NASCAR?
Yeah.
You talking about 5 years ago?
Yeah.
So if you look at NASCAR as an investment and a delivery back, name any media buy that you can do where you get a multiple of your money. There isn't one. You can get back a percentage of your dollar. You invest $1, you get back 5% on coupons, 20% in radio, 30% in some cable and TV, and you can maybe up those a little bit with some other things. In NASCAR, just the media buy alone, when you invest that dollar, you get back $3, $4, $5, 3, 4, 5 times your money. So from just a raw fundamental business, it's a terrific business.
Huh.
You look at our investment, we have on the 26th, we have a new sponsor named Stalk It, and what they do is they take old corn stalks and they process them, and they make skateboards and surfboards and cardboard products and all kind of paper products out of it. Nobody ever heard of them in my world until we put them on that 26 car, and just having those announcers talking about it and looking it up and trying to figure out what it is and all the people. That's a bang for his buck that he could never have bought by buying advertising and getting it. It'd take a long, long time to get to the marketplace that quick. I know Dr. Pepper is a household name. Everybody knows it. But top of mind awareness that we create in NASCAR is terrific. Dustless blasting, which is surface preparation, and those guys are getting a return on their investment that they can't get in the trades that they go to or at the conventions that they attend like they do on NASCAR. So the same thing with me. When I first got in as a businessman and I saw that, if you believe in that and you think that that'll sustain over time, that you can get your word out to just millions and millions of people. Now the best way to do that is with performance, and that's where we're focused, is getting our performance up on the track and get up there so that our GRPs that we generate every weekend are big.
So will you be running a third car most of the year, or does that just depend on how things go?
Well, so here, if the 93 or the 26 win the Daytona 500, it'll probably show up in Atlanta, but it'll be kind of hard to park it, I guess. But I think really what's going to happen is the way the structure is now is the charter systems, the 36 charter teams are going to operate week in and week out, and then the open teams are going to pulse in based on the size of the event and the sponsorship that's available to it. So I think if it's a sponsored ride, we'd like to be a two-car team for a while. Originally I was a two-car team, and we were running between 15th and 25th, and I don't want to blame our performance on running 3 and 4 cars, but the Daytona 500, you have to take everything you own down there. It's just such a big event, and it's such an opportunity for everybody. So when we get to Atlanta, our plan right now is to run the 23 and the 83. We'll run the 23 Dr. Pepper car, the 83 Dustless, and we have some other sponsors that are joining us in those cars. But that's our 2 charter teams, and that's our main focus. And then what we'll do is for some of the ones who've come along with drivers and opportunities that come with drivers and sponsorship, we'll pulse those other cars in as we can. And but if it looks like it's going to cost us performance, then we're going to look really, really hard at it.
So when you go to Daytona this week, or if you're there already maybe, but when you go there this week, you've got to be looking at the fact that you've got 2 guys, now possibly a third, that stand a good chance of getting a good run and even a possible win in the Daytona 500. So you've got to be really excited about all that.
Well, first off, it starts with a fast car, right? And
right.
So we are very excited to take down, really 4 fast cars. David, we had a little issue with David's car. It wasn't David's fault that he ended up where he was. The they figured it out now, and I think you'll see him run with the other ones. But to qualify in and just speed like we did, and everybody's so close, Jack. You know that. I mean, there's a few that have fallen off, and this is a big time motor race, and this is a big time, winter work race. And I thought we came out of the gate pretty strong. And for Matt to be able to be the second fastest in the open cars, that was very special for our team. And then for Robert Richardson to be the fourth fastest, that fourth spot, if the 21 wins his duel and if the 93 wins his duel, then they go to the next space for the third and fourth in time. So it was really critical to occupy one of those top four spots, and both of the cars did that. So, I think it starts with speed, and then our cars have always drafted well. We've spent a lot of time in the wind tunnel, and, we've always been able to hang on to the draft or be a part of it. And so with fast cars, you can hang on and you can, be there. And it's one of those races where you just never know if if you stay out of trouble and if you get there at the end. We've seen it so many times in the past,
You never can tell.
That's what we all dream about, right?
That's exactly right.
If it happens, come visit me. I'm going to stay in Victory Lane until they carry me out.
I don't blame you there on that one.
I tell you what, I'm going to be sitting on the edge of my seat because I look forward. I know a lot of the guys that are over there working with you, and I can't wait to see that happen. I mean, I think it'll be a great day, but I'll be pulling hard for you. I know that.
Well, it's very kind. Thank you. We need all the finger crossing we can do, but we're still building our team. This is going into my fifth year since we bought Red Bull, and I think this Michael Walter purchase will move us forward. And I just feel like it's more of a process, and people don't realize how hard it is. You got to build these things. They don't just happen. And so we've been working real hard on it. So please cross your fingers and pull for us, and we'll see what happens here.
We will. Ron, I seen that you went to JMU.
I did. I graduated JMU in '78. I think the dinosaurs were still on the other side of the highway, but I was there, and I stay attached to it. I served 8 years on the board of visitors, and I've been a year on the foundation board. So
Okay.
I stay with it.
Well, it was pretty cool the car looked good last year that y'all run. I don't remember where you run it at. Was it Richmond?
Richmond, yeah, we did. We put we had some space, and we worked it out with them, and we actually had the car on campus, and we had the cheerleaders there and the football team. We had the number 83. He's a long snapper. He came out, and then we had the Duke dog, and I had a couple presidents there. I had Lynn Rose came and John Alger. They both done a wonderful job of guiding that school from a college to a university under Rose, and then developed it more as a university with studies, etc., under John Alger. And so, we had it on campus. And I'll tell you the other thing that was special about that. I remember the Allison Parker tragedy, that newscaster that was killed in the road.
Right, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so she's a JMU graduate, and so we put her on the car and brought her parents, and we did a little, kind of special and touching, to be able to put her on the TV panel, and we actually put her name on the door, and got some good keepsake photos from that. But they started an Allison Parker scholarship. I think she's raised over $100,000 for scholarships for people in the media business on there. And their parents have a great attitude in a tragedy is you try to turn it into something good for people. And she was a sweet, wonderful young lady, and I think they made the best of it. So we got to do that. Those are special things that that happen along the way that really make all this make some sense.
You got that right, and you did a wonderful job with that.
Yeah. That car was cool, and that had to be pretty cool to go to school there and then have the car, and he looked at. Did Rick Mass come over? Because don't his daughter go to JMU?
Did what happen?
Rick Mass, did he come over there? Because don't his daughter go to JMU?
Yeah, his daughter was there with us that day. His daughter came on campus. I'll tell you a funny little story about it. I told him, I said, I'll do it. I'll bring the car up there. We'll put it on, but I want a picture of it on the 50-yard line on the stadium. Okay? I played in that stadium in 1970, never mind. And they go, no, you can't do that. No, the cops are screaming, no, you can't do this. And I said, just back it up on there. And I said, well, it's AstroTurf.
Right.
You know, I mean, we're not going to put ruts in the field. It's no big deal. And it didn't have a motor in it, so we put the Duke dog in where the motor was and pushed it out in the center of the field. You know, it's one of those things where once you start it kind of rolling, snowball rolling, and people start to get on it. I have a picture of the race car and the police car nose to nose in the middle of the football stadium with the Duke dog in the engine. And, once we finally got them over the hump of you can't do it, then they got excited. They actually flew a drone with a camera on it, took pictures of it. It was really pretty cool. And Matt was there in his fire suit. It was 1,000,000 degrees that day. The poor kid was sweating to death, but he was out there and they photoshopped us, and it was really a wonderful day at JMU. And good for the students to come see it. And we actually made die-cast, the little ones and the 164s, and even some of the bigger ones, and they're available right now in the outpost down there, and they're gobbling them up. So
That's cool.
Fun. It was fun. It was a nice thing, and it's good for my whole family went there. My wife was JMU grad, and my middle son graduated from there, and my youngest graduated from there, and even got his master's from there. So it was good fun, good school, and great for our family.
Well, Ron, we appreciate your time tonight. I appreciate you coming on the show and being with us, and maybe we'll get you back on here in a couple weeks, or maybe next week even, if you come out, if we ever get you out of Victory Lane, if you win it down there.
If we win Victory Lane, bring the microphone. We'll do it right from there.
All right, man.
All right, guys. All right.
We appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
All right. Talk to you soon.
All right, man. Talk to you later.
All right. Bye-bye.
And you're talking about really one of the nicest guys. He truly is a really nice guy at the racetrack.
Yeah, he's come up to me at the racetrack, and if y'all want anything, go get it.
Which about everybody does. I mean, most everybody is very. We've been pretty fortunate.
This year we went up and we introduced ourselves to him. I don't know if you were you with me?
No, you shunned me off.
Oh, okay. That was one of those times
Everybody does that, though.
That was one of those times okay. Anyway, I went up and I talked to him, and we sat and talked, and of course Guido came over, and we had a good little talk with him. But it's a lot of fun, and he is definitely this year has stepped it up.
I didn't realize that. I knew they bought the cars. I didn't know they bought the chassis shop and the jigs and all those things to continue to make those parts and pieces, that's a big deal.
That is a huge deal,
and that's a big commitment from Ron and his partners.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure that wasn't a cheap purchase.
No.
But you know what? And I think you and I both are really high on Matt.
The Benedetto. Yeah.
This kid, if you see him walking around the racetrack, you don't think he's much of a race car driver. Him and his dad, you see him, they're always together. They're a couple guys from Jersey. So you can imagine he doesn't fit the mold for the typical
race car driver.
Well, let me tell you something. I seen this kid when he broke into racing. He was 14 years old, driving a mini stock at Hickory Speedway. The kid was no taller than this. He was small.
Much taller than that now.
Well, he's a little bit better. He's gotten a little bit bigger now.
He's a little,
but he was he got out of the car, and I'm trying to figure out where's the driver, because that can't be the driver.
Yeah.
Because he was way too small, and he looked like a kid. It looked like a 12-year-old kid driving the car. But he won every race but one in the mini stock division that year. Moved up to limited late model the next year. Won like 10 out of 14 races in the limited late models. And then he got hooked in with Joe Gibbs as a developmental driver with Joe Gibbs. And, of course, he's kind of floundered from that point on as far as keeping, it's hard to get a good ride on a regular basis if you don't bring some money with you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But his dad, he run the late models out at Martinsville, at the big race at Martinsville, and I talked to his dad there. I sat in the stands with him. Mm-hmm. And, his dad is just as cool as he can be, but, they just didn't bring a lot of money with them into the sport. And, of course, his dad flipped the bill for the first 2 years that I know of. But this kid, he's developed every year. It just seems like he finds just a little bit more every year.
Well, the other year he got a kind of a fill-in role and ran a few races, and then he was supposed to, somebody else, I forget who was supposed to, he was supposed to back and forth with a ride or share the ride with, and they ended up not taking him out of the ride. He ended up with a full season, or almost a full season, and honestly outperformed. And it was just a third team that they had kind of put together, and he outperformed the other two. To me, were the two primary cars.
Yeah.
I mean, he ended up better in the points. He outran them on a consistent basis. And there's a few times he was close to the top 10, top 15.
Yep, he was good.
I'm just really high on him because I think he's done an excellent job to not have any money to put towards it, and he's just capitalized on all his opportunities.
And he's worked very close with Jeff Kirkendall. Mm-hmm. We had Jeff on the show, and him and Jeff are really tight. And so there is a
Well, they're similar in height.
But there's a core there that seems to be getting a little bit better all the time.
I don't remember who his crew chief is on that car,
I don't remember either.
but I know they didn't split them up, and I know they swapped the other two teams around a couple of times.
And I know Doug Richard is with Michael Waltrip, so I don't know if Doug's going to be the 83 crew chief the rest of the year or what. But he's with Michael Waltrip this week.
I
So
can't remember.
that'd be interesting. Before we go off the air, we're going to have to go and make our Daytona 500 picks.
And when do I get to pick mine?
You're last. You won last week. You go last this week. Remember?
Oh yeah, I just want to hear you say I won.
And since Reese is not here, we're gonna let
Eric pick for him?
Eric pick for him. So,
Who you think's going to win?
but he don't get to pick first.
Who goes?
I go first.
Because
Why?
he finished last.
I finished last. I go first.
Oh,
So y'all not jumping in front of me now. And you know who I'm taking?
88,
No.
the 24.
No, I'm not taking the 88 or the 24 or the 48. And I'm definitely not taking the 5.
Yeah.
I'm not. I'm going with the 22.
Oh yeah.
I'm going with the 22. Joey Logano.
I think the Joe Gibbs cars are going to be fast, but for some reason I think in the big race, I think they're there, but I just don't think they got it to win. I think they'll be in the top 5 or so forth, but yeah, they're fast.
All right, Eric, you're up.
As much as it pains me to go against a Ford, I think Matt Kenseth is gonna, and that
That's a
Toyota's
good-
gonna. It pains me not to pick one of them Fords, but
But you know what? I was actually talking to.
see, Matt Kenseth always finds a way to be there at the end.
Yeah.
You know, I liked him when he was
Just
at
don't
Roush
wreck
and everything.
him.
Yeah, that's true.
Don't wreck him.
To pull a Scott Allen on you.
You got that right. You got that right.
Hey, you got to take care of it one way or another. But you know what? I think Roush hired some key people this year, and I think Roush is going to be better than they were the last couple of years.
Yeah.
Well, they did that, but I forget who but they hired a couple key people from some other places. I think one of them come from the 42. I think they took did the crew chief come off that car and go over there? Or the one? No, the 42.
The 42 is
Because they took the crew chief from.
oh,
I can
man.
see him, but I can't think of his name. The 14. He come off the 14.
Chad Johnston.
Yeah,
Chad Johnston.
but I think the crew chief that left the 42. I think he went over to Roush,
He's at Roush.
and then
Chris Heroy.
there's a few other key people, and so their program should elevate.
Well, they're
They're rebuilding this year because last year they weren't doing.
Oh,
Well,
it was horrible.
but
It was
think about it.
embarrassing.
Yeah, it was.
Biffle looked pretty good the other night. He looked decent. Other than that, I didn't see anything that Roush had.
And I'm curious. I hope, and it's another one I think that's overachieved compared to what he's had. As I put him in the category with Matt Benedetto, is Chris Buescher. You know
Yes.
that is a front row motorsports car, but
By name.
correct. That's a
By
Roush.
name. That's a complete Roush program on that car.
Yeah.
Right. That's yeah. I don't know how much it's intertwined or if it's kind of like
That
the
car-
21 team.
That car that car goes to Roush. That
Okay.
does not go back to front row. That car stays at Roush.
So it's like the 21 car.
It's like the 78. The 78
It's been
spent
at-
all that time this past couple weeks at Joe Gibbs.
right.
So, that's just another one of those.
It don't get much closer than that. But I think Chris is going to surprise us. And I hope so, because I hope the whole rookie of the year between Chase Elliott,
Chris Buescher.
Chris Buescher, and then
Brian Scott.
Brian Scott's is well, they're saying Brian Scott and Chase Elliott are going to be the two that's going to be competing. But I don't think you can count out Chris Buescher. There's one more. I don't remember who the third one is, or the fourth one is.
Is it Blaney?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Blaney.
Yeah, I mean, you really got 4 good quality
Yeah.
cars.
It's gonna be an interesting thing. And you got Blaney, who's driving basically a Penske car. I mean, that's completely Penske. And you got Chase is a Hendrick car, and you know what he's got. Mm-hmm. Buescher's going to be a Roush car. You know what he's got. And then,
But their
I think
programming
Brian-
is not as well.
And then Brian Scott has got a Richard Petty Motorsports car, and I'm not really sure where they are.
Well, that's a satellite Childress where they share a lot of
Not
information.
Childress. That's a Ford.
Oh, damn it! I was
Brian
thinking the
Scott's a
46.
Ford.
Yeah.
That's another Roush.
Well, that was they were
Yeah.
teaming up with Yates.
Yeah, but
Well,
that's a
it's
Roush
Roush,
thing. It's a
Yes,
Roush
yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
All right, who's your pick?
I'm gonna go with the 4.
I should have known. I should have just wrote that down. Now, who did Clayton say?
Let's see what Clayton said he was going with. I forgot.
Our guest, the commentator.
Yeah. He was gonna go with I think it was the 48 if nobody picked it.
I thought it was 88.
Oh yeah, that's right. It was 88 if nobody picked it. If somebody picked it, he was going with Murray.
It's the Earnhardt.
Which is not a bad pick when you talk about restrictor plate racing.
No, I think he might have a shot on that one.
Yeah.
All right, next week's show. Going to have a decent next week's show. We're going to have right now I have Kevin Reed, the crew chief for John West Townley's truck and ARCA car that won the ARCA race this past week. He's coming next
Now, are
week.
you gonna talk like you did earlier
What?
about John West Townley?
I'm not really. Got Red Farmer going to be with us next week.
No.
And have you ever heard of Shelby Blackstock?
No, I was just wondering who the heck you got up there. I looked like one of the people from Moonshiners or something.
No. And I'm working on one of them.
Oh, yeah?
I'm working on one of them. That guy Josh, the moonshiner named Josh,
Uh-huh.
he's a race car driver from down. He drives.
Is
race
he?
car- He drives on a dirt track around Spartanburg.
Oh, really? I didn't
So
know that.
I'm using that as an angle. I'm trying to get him on here.
Well, yeah, Tim probably would. I see Tim at Martinsville almost every race.
But anyway, back to Shelby Blackstock. He drives Formula Fords and all this other stuff. He drives the Ford Mustangs in the road racing series and everything. But his number one claim to fame, that's Reba McEntire's son.
Oh, really?
So he and I have been talking back and forth. So he's going to do the show next week.
That's interesting.
So, and we may have one more that I asked to come on the show. I haven't heard no more from him.
Who's that?
That girl, Sarah Cornett Ching, that ran the ARCA race, and yeah, she finished 12th in the ARCA race, and then she ran the K&N race down there too, and she's going to be running the full K&N series,
The East or
the East. And I haven't heard back from her, so I don't know if that's going to happen or not. But anyway, these three I have definitely heard from. So
well, Red Farmer ought to be pretty interesting.
yeah, we pulled. Red Farmer says he's out of the woods now. He can come on, be on
No,
the
right,
show.
he's not. Yeah.
He went to Daytona this week. He said he ain't got time to mess with it this week.
I certainly had fun with. We had Buzz Rudeman on David Rudeman's dad. Yeah,
he was.
I still laugh when he answered the phone. What? How did he say?
Ruda man.
Yeah, Rudeman. And that was it. I mean, that was his answering the phone. Like, wasn't sure if it was an answering machine or not. And then it was like, "Hey, Buzz, we're start talking." And he's like, "Oh, I'm waiting to do a show. This is the show." He's like, "I'm waiting to do an interview. This is the interview, Buzz." No, I'm waiting to do an interview. This is the interview. Oh.
Anyway,
But he was fun. It was good.
all right. Well, another show in the books. Sorry we missed out on one of our components and we had to settle for Wickheiser, but
Yeah.
you know, we do what we have to do.
All right, guys. We'll see you next week. And I'll be at the convention center.
Oh yeah, don't forget to go
Yeah.
see Scott at the convention center. Don't don't go anywhere. Don't forget to go see Scott at the convention
That's
center.
right. You'll get one of them. You come by and see me.
And if
Autographed.
And if
You'll
he's
take
nice,
that.
if he's nice to you, he'll give you one of those.
I'll sign it, and you can sell it on eBay and double your money.
I doubt very seriously.
All right, guys. We'll see you next week.